Well, a very good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you might be in the world. Welcome to the channel or welcome back, as usual. Doing my regular startup speech as we go into the video today. If you're new to the channel, you might not be aware that I don't always stick to a transcript, although I do them. I will quite often deviate from them, and this is one of the times, certainly with the welcome. For those reasons, though, just to draw to your attention, I do put timing stamps in the description of videos so that you can jump to the area of interest. Because if I do go on a big waffle, which might be sharing other information besides the crystal content, at least you can go. You don't have to spend a lot of time. You can find the areas of interest for you. By that, I mean sometimes I will share metaphysical information that I've picked up along the way. Other points of interest or things that I need to go into before I talk about what do we call it? We call it housekeeping. So other housekeeping for the channel is basically, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Anah Parreli. This is my channel. I've got a website. I've been working with crystals and energy for many years, and I love to share information with people as part of growing the pool of wisdom. And I always find that the more information I share and give to people, the more I actually learn from people as well, because they will share their experiences, understanding, and knowledge, which is always greatly appreciated. So, of course, you are invited to share your tips. Just a point here, I'm going to try and rush through it today. It's a glorious day. I hope that it's beautiful weather where you are. But here today, it is like finally we've got spring. So I'm running back and forth doing the gardening, the pruning, and that kind of stuff. If you're new to the channel, you will not be aware that I do have a little doggy, and sometimes he gets a little bit active. So I have to stop and start as I do my videos. But look, without further ado, just if you find any of the information that I provide useful, if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be wonderful. Appreciated. Thank you. It helps to keep me motivated. Today we're going to be talking about the crystal, what I call Tai Chi Stone, also known as Tai Chi, if I can speak, Tai Chi Jasper. I'll show you it now, actually, rather than keep waffling. Let's take a look at it. So I've only learned about Tai Chi Stone recently, and I'm going to stick with the term Tai Chi because my source is actually in China, and I should be getting some very soon. Anyway, I ordered it because I saw it as part of the product that my supplier is obviously selling, and previously I've not heard of it. So although I've been working with crystals for many, many years, and I did have a sabbatical, this is actually new to my knowledge and understanding. So a lot of in fact, all of the content that I've put up today is based on me researching, trying to get understanding of the metaphysical attributes of the crystal, a little bit of information about the mineral stuff, the mineral content, which informs the buying, of course, to make sure that we're getting what we pay for and what we're hoping for. But also in the process of looking at this crystal and understanding more about it, it gives me a greater insight as to what the metaphysical attributes are that I can expect to see when my piece finally arrives. And I'm hoping to get it. There's been a bit of a delay with the consignment. But anyway, as you look at this here, you can see these are towers of it. Obviously, it's carved, which that's an indicator that it carves very well. You can see that it's got layers. It's got black and white. And I can understand why people, when I did my research, they associate it with yin yang, the symbol and that, because it's black and white and it comes out of China. And that is the first thought that we actually jump to. I'm not convinced that actually the properties of Tai Chi Stone are about balance, and I'll explain why. And this is my understanding of the mineral components that make up a crystal as well. And, to some extent, yes. Okay, I will say yes, yin yang is part of it, but as we go into the attributes, you'll understand where I'm coming from here. But anyway, primarily, when you look at Tai Chi Stone, it's going to have banding on it. Now, as with all crystals, it depends on what part of the rock that it's carved from as to how much of the banding you're going to get. So you can see with each of these towers here, some have got darker black, some have got wider black strips, some have got more white, some have got more grey, all of that kind of thing. It just depends on the part of the rock that the crystal has been carved from. So we can sort of get a bit of information, even if you're a lay person or fairly new to the metaphysical industry, on what chakras the crystals will work with based on colouring, because quite often those colours are directly associated with the chakras. Not always, though. There are variations to themes. But anyway, straight off the get-go, we can recognize from looking at the Tai Chi Stone that it's going to work with your crown chakra and your base chakra. But I would go as far as saying also your Earth Star chakra, and in fact, all of them, because it starts at the crown and it works its way down. And when a person is centered and balanced, then all of those chakras are in alignment. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say most definitely the crown, the Earth Star, and everything in between. Now, I think when you do your own research, you're going to see that Tai Chi Stone is promoted as a crystal of balance and yin yang. However, right, there's a big however. For me, once I reflected and did some of that, I guess, attempting to access my own inner guidance and that kind of thing, my belief is actually it is a crystal of the divine feminine. It's a very feminine energy associated. Well, this is what I expect when the crystal arrives to me, that it's going to carry a very feminine energy to it. And when we talk about feminine, just to be clear here, because we live in political times, we're not talking about gender here. We're not talking about male or female. We're not talking about anything political. We are going to the age-old rationale that there is a feminine energy and there is a masculine energy, and this is reflected in things like the yin-yang symbol, which is why I guess that people are talking about it. But when we talk about the yin-yang, we're talking about a balance of what is called masculine and feminine energy. We're talking about a balance of the logical, rational aspects of living and being able to provide and support ourselves more. Now, I don't believe, with my understanding of the crystals and their attributes, that there is a focus on the masculine energy here as much as it is grounding and practical. I believe that the components of the Tai Chi Stone, which we'll look at that in a moment when we check out the mineral content, that both of these really reinforce the attributes of the feminine. And that is the connection to Gaia, Mother Earth, through the Earth Star, connection to the nature kingdom and the elements, being grounded, centered, balanced. Okay, that's obviously indicative of yin yang, but because we also have the black, we've got tapping into the intuition. I interpret it as being a crystal that is very nurturing. It's got very mother-like energy to it, based on what I'm seeing, or based on my guidance, if you like. So it's going to carry the qualities of peace, protection, and I would also go a little bit further and say it's associated with magic and miracles, which is the manifestation aspects. Now, to put this into perspective, I will actually sort of go intro into it. My conclusions are based on the fact of what I understand with working with white quartz. And okay, I'm jumping ahead of things here, that Tai Chi Stone, the black part is jasper and the white part of it is actually white quartz. Now, I'm very fond of white quartz. While I haven't worked with Tai Chi crystal, I definitely have worked with jasper and I've definitely worked with the white quartz. And what I find white quartz or milky quartz does is it's very calming, very soothing. It was put to me a long time ago, it's like being embraced and held by the goddess, or in a maternal way, so that's where I get the mothering qualities from for it. And in fact, if you're new to the channel, you won't know this. If you're old to the channel, you will know that I stopped collecting and life got in the way and I had to do a number of moves, and I lost my crystal collection, most of it, in the process. So when I started rebuilding my collection through the process of doing the videos on this channel, one of the first pieces I got myself was actually a geode of milky quartz, because it is just so calming, so loving, so nurturing. And this is what we get, I believe, or what I expect to get when using Tai Chi stone. And the difference, I guess, with how I interpret the milky quartz, especially from a geode perspective, is that when you've got it with the black jasper, you're really grounding those peaceful and nurturing components into your physical being as well. So this is why I say it's a stone of divine feminine. As far as the zodiac goes, I'm glad to see that the recommendation is that, this is through my research, that Tai Chi is going to be beneficial to all star signs. Regardless of the star sign that you're born under, you can expect to receive the benefits of the attributes that come with Tai Chi Stone. Anyway, if you're a returning visitor, you know that basically that's my belief and perception anyway when it comes to crystals, is that you will know the crystal that is for you through holding it more than anything else. Problematically, of course, a lot of people do their buying online these days, so they don't actually get to feel the crystals before they make their purchase. But either way, don't let your star sign deter you from buying Tai Chi Stone. I think I forgot to mention on the last couple of videos that I've recorded, just that disclaimer up there. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a specialist in rocks whatsoever. When it comes to this kind of information that we've got on this slide, I'm reliant on doing some research. And the reason I'm interested in this kind of information is because it informs my buying. It means that I'm doing an educated purchase as best I can. It's not 100% foolproof because unless you're a geo or you're able to do the test, quite often we actually can't tell, or they can't even tell. They have to actually run tests to be sure that what they're saying a rock is or a crystal is, that it actually is. But okay, so for me, going back to it, I like this information. It helps me determine how I'm going to spend my money, what I'm comfortable paying for an item. So Tai Chi Stone, if you do your Googling and you want to have a look at it, it's got a couple of other names. It's also called Tai Chi Jasper and Tai Chi Stone. Not Tai Chi similar, but not the same. Other names I've seen it by is Tai Chi Jade or Yin Yang Jade. And apparently it's a relatively new discovery in China. You do get photographs of it online. The information I'm giving here may or may not be accurate. So if you've got accurate information, please feel free to correct us in the comments below the video. Anyway, from a hardness perspective, it's not super hard. It's 6.5 to 7. But having said that, I think quartz is about 7. I forgot to put that in my notes, but jasper's about 6.5 to 7. So you may as well say that's the average for the Tai Chi Stone. So it's got reasonable durability there. As far as colours go, definitely the black, the white and the grey. As you saw with the towers though, I think some of that grey ends up looking a little bit brownish. From a transparency perspective, you don't get it transparent is my understanding. It only comes opaque. And of course, if you don't know what opaque means, it's when you hold it up to the sun, you don't see any light behind it. As far as the luster goes, it's got a bit of a waxy, glassy luster about it. The research, and I'm really looking forward to seeing my pieces, but apparently it can even look a little bit sandy actually when it's polished. What have I got here on my notes? The polished stones can apparently look a bit glassy, have a glassy shine, but the unpolished are the ones that have the waxy or the matte appearance, and sometimes even a sandy type texture. That makes sense to me when we're talking about jasper, because jasper definitely has that more matte appearance than quartz. So I'm familiar actually with both of the crystals when they grow independently. But yeah, definitely jasper can look a little bit matte, a little bit sandy. Quartz definitely looks more polished. So when it comes to buying tips, realistically, yes, there's a stock standard. Know the size, know the dimensions, know the weight. If you're buying from overseas and importing, which of course it's all going to come out of China, if it's gone from China to Mexico to the US to whatever, each time it passes through a different country, it's actually going to have the price put up and become more expensive to you. But know the currency and check out your currency conversions and check out the freight before committing and locking into doing a purchase, because otherwise it can just really blow the price out extensively. But beyond that, when we talk about buying specifically for Tai Chi Stone, obviously I gave you a number of different names that Tai Chi Stone is known by, and so you could do price comparisons and do a Google. Include those. Don't just limit yourself to searching for Tai Chi Stone for sale. Look at things like Tai Chi Jade and that kind of thing. However, there's a couple of things I'd like to mention in regard to buying, and I really think Tai Chi Stone is up there as one of those crystals that you don't just want to buy off a photograph. You want to be able to see the back, the front, the sides. And if that means you can get a video of it, great. I mean, things like the sphere, that's okay. I'll explain to you why I believe this. The sphere, you can see there is layers, and those layers are going to run through all sides of it. Okay, there's not an issue there. If you've got a circle, everything sort of runs in a circumference. However, the tower on the right-hand side, I looked at that and I was completely unimpressed. As you can see, I've taken I've poached the image from a for sale site, and somebody was selling a number of these towers. And I have a feeling that this particular crystal we're looking at here, the one on the right-hand side, that it's black on one side and white on the other. Now, that'd be fine because you're getting what you're paying for. You're getting a product that has got both jasper and milky quartz on it. But if they've gone to a part of the Tai Chi stone and done a carving just out of the white, you're not getting Tai Chi, you're getting white quartz. With maybe a little bit, if it's got a little bit of grey in there, with maybe a little bit of jasper. So you're not really getting what you pay for. I actually would be very disappointed if I ended up with that, because I think the one that is on the right, I have a feeling that that's actually white on all sides. I think it was another one that was for sale from the same person that had black on one side and white on the other, but it certainly wasn't an equal balance of the two crystals within the product. As for the central image, I just really like that, and I thought that's incredibly innovative. I have no idea who carved that. I don't even remember what the price was, but being able to look at that carving, which is almost like, what do they call them? Almost like a cameo, but you've got the black jasper as the background, and then the white quartz shapes the lady that is coming forth from that black jasper. Very, very clever. But when you see it like that, you know, yeah, for sure, Tai Chi stone is extremely suitable for carving, obviously. So what I've done, because there's a lot of confusion out there, and probably because Tai Chi stone is fairly new, with how the sellers are labeling the product. And of course, the product that I'm interested in is the one that I've shown you basically all the way through, which has got this banding to it. But when you, as I said, it's known by different names as well, such as Tai Chi Jade. If you start looking for Tai Chi Jade and you haven't actually got your eyes familiar with what Tai Chi stone is, what I'm talking about as far as the metaphysical attributes go, you may actually think that I'm talking about the image on the left-hand side up the top, which is called Japanese Tai Chi Stone, or Tai Chi Jade. Now, I've mentioned that and put that there because that's going to have a whole different set of metaphysical attributes. When I look at that, I can see straight away, without actually unpacking it, that yes, it's going to be different to Tai Chi Stone. Then I saw that sometimes it's called zebra jasper because it's got the banding. Now that is actually incorrect for sure. If you look at the image on the right-hand side, I think that's Isis, that carving or sculpture. That one is definitely Tai Chi stone. Okay, you can tell by the way you've got the layers and the shapes. Another stunning, beautiful image, I might add. Then if you look at the image on the far left, on the bottom, that's called zebra jasper, and you see that the stripes within the crystal are completely different to Tai Chi stone. You've got they're not even layers, they're not straight layers. Then I put in, because we've got here in Australia, we've got a crystal called Australian zebra stone. It's actually very rare, and in fact, I think the source has been depleted. I think there was only one source in the northwest of Western Australia, and I did have a piece of it. It's definitely very matte, the Australian zebra stone. But once again, you see that Australian zebra stone actually doesn't look anything like the Tai Chi stone. Just when I refer to these images, just jump over back to that Isis type statue, and you see there is no similarity between them. And then another one, that Landon Tai Chi Stone, which sits in the slide here, is directly below the Australia Zebra Stone. That apparently is used for pools and that kind of thing, and it is nothing like, as you can see, Zebra Stone or of any shape. And I'm just trying to think, that other stone up the top, I've forgotten what I called that. Let me check my notes. I'm talking about the top right-hand side. Thankfully, I checked my transcript. Okay, that one above the Isis statue is actually being sold as Tai Chi Stone. Now, I'm not familiar with that one either, so I actually don't know whether or not that's correct. As I say, I've got my Tai Chi Stone coming. It's only a small one because I've got a couple of samples of Laughing Buddhas coming, and they're just small, and it just gives me a bit of an idea about some of the crystals that are coming out of China. My understanding, however, is that the distinction for Tai Chi stone is that it has these clear bands, which we don't see in that top image. So when it comes to the spiritual attributes, because I think the video is going to get long, I'm probably not going to break it down too much unless you want me to expand upon it. But you can see it really is a crystal that grows and nurtures the soul. There's a whole lot of soul expansion, and a lot of that is about feeling safe and feeling comfortable, and focus on the intention. I guess actually there's a couple of things that I like that I will draw to people's attention, and that is, well, one, everybody wants to know about lucky. Yeah, it's supposed to be a magnet to prosperity, good fortune and luck. The protection, so you could put it in your business workplace, and it would be, I guess, supposed to attract financial prosperity and that kind of thing. Also, if you're feeling stagnant, as in stuck, maybe that could be stuck physically, emotionally, and spiritually, that there's no growth happening. It's supposed to actually help bring in the life force. So we're talking about channeling energy there. Also, the other thing I like was the idea of the surrendering to divine will, that release of resistance and going with the flow of life. And this becomes the spiritual intention as well, to be able to walk the life path and the divine plan, and also the unification of the mind, body, spirit, that connection, which is chakras and through the auras. So it's very much a crystal for new beginnings. I think actually, if I was to dig into my memory bank, there's something about the divine plan, where not everything is predestined. I think most people know that. And then at different times throughout the life path, we get given what is called open keys. And that is where we actually consciously get this choice to be able to manifest as part of our soul expansion. What is it we want to develop? For instance, I'll give you a for instance here. Mediumship is not... my understanding is that where some people are born in with the gifts and it's just a matter of turning them on and they're able to access them. For me, I actively chose to develop my gifts and then work towards it. And for these reasons, I will turn around and say, look, if people ask me, do I do mediumship? Yes, I do, but I am not as good as many people that I have known that are just truly natural gifted mediums. They can chat with spirit like spirit is standing beside them and receive guidance. I don't have it to that ability. However, I can see and recognize spirit, and I can understand a lot of the time the symbolism that they're giving me, especially if I'm doing messages. But what I kind of learned along the way, that my life path and my divine plan included working with energy from a healing and channeling perspective, not so much the communication. But anyway, where I'm going with that is I decided to develop them. I decided that at one point in my life, as part of my soul expansion and life path, I wanted to develop my psychic abilities, to include things like tarot reading and develop the clairvoyance and to be able to communicate with spirit. So just another quick disclaimer here before we get into the physical and emotional metaphysical benefits. The reminder that we do not disengage from our treating professionals if we've got health conditions to work solely with crystals. We can use our crystals as a complement to any treatment plans. If you if you suffer from insomnia, for example, and it's not creating significant health conditions, you don't need to go to your doctor and say, look, I've got insomnia and it's been recommended that I work with soda light. What do you think? You can pretty well safely work with your crystals for that. But if the sleep conditions is associated to another primary or major health condition, make sure you see your doctor. Don't neglect your health just to work with the crystals. It's just a reminder. Here I am going on a waffle. Okay, crystals are there. They are something that we can use. But if we ignore other health treatments, well, that's being narrow-minded anyway. All right, I'm just not even going to go down that pathway, that conversation. I'll just stick to the recommendations for Tai Chi Stone. Apparently, it's supposed to be very good for the brain, to help balance the hemispheres, to calm and soothe the nervous system, neural pathways as well. If people have got neurological disorders, apparently it's supposed to help strengthen and heal those conditions. Apparently, it promotes healthy function of the pituitary, the pineal, and the hypothalamus glands. If you suffer from chronic exhaustion and fatigue, because of that association with Ki and the life force, then it's supposed to actually invigorate and recharge a person, help them to feel more vital. If people have got skeletal issues such as arthritis, pain, and mobility problems, say the pelvis, legs, hips, feet, that kind of thing, it's supposed to promote good health with that. Sciatica, of course, is neurological. If you've ever had that, that can be so painful. Am I talking about sciatica or just the sciatic nerve? I'm not sure. Okay, the reason I put eating disorders and immune disorders here is because they are steeped in the physiology. Even if somebody develops any kind of mental health condition or mood disorder, actually, there becomes that cementing of the neural pathways. So you treat the emotional and physical together. It's also believed to benefit waste elimination. When I say it, of course, I'm talking about Tai Chi Stone. It's supposed to help with detoxification of the body and waste elimination, and also to get the work-life balance of, play, rest, work, family, all of that kind of thing. So, because Tai Chi Stone is really good for centering and grounding and balancing out all of those chakras, it creates an emotional balance and a psychological balance. So, it's really good for people that have got, or I envisage it will be, if they've got mood or personality type disorders, say the bipolar, the extreme highs and extreme lows. Okay. You can see here anyway that it is. Because it's got those mothering attributes that I referred to energetically, that's going to calm and soothe any of those stark emotions, the fears, the insecurity. Just think about it in your mind. If you envisage, and not everybody's born with a very nurturing mother, but in your mind's eye of a nurturing type mother, what does she do? She embraces her small child that's sad. She wipes their tears away. She comforts them. She soothes them. She pats their back, and she helps them to feel safe and calm and loved. And this is kind of what I expect to come through from the Tai Chi Stone, as well as gratitude, for blessings seen and unseen. And basically, because there's this nurturing energy to it, it inspires confidence and courage and motivates people to keep going through difficult times and adversity. This is what I expect anyway. But I look forward to comments from people that may have actually worked with it already. So, because Tai Chi Stone is easy to carve, it's available in a wide range of different forms. I would be going for the ones that have got the banding. And of course, if you're looking for the grounding connection or connection to the Mother Nature stuff, you'll be going for one that's got primarily black to it. If you're looking to get the nurturing aspects of it, that calming, then go for the ones that have got more of the white quartz in them. If you're looking to attract prosperity into your environment or yourself, then look for the ones that have got the banded and probably even a balanced approach as part of magnetizing the energy. Excuse me while I have a cough. And of course, the way that you're going to use it, or you intend to use the crystal, is going to determine the type of crystal that you get. If you're wanting to balance out your personal energy to feel calmer, stronger in the face of difficult times, then you might want to wear it as a tumbled stone on your person. You might want to meditate with it as a palm stone. Sometimes, quite often, what I do with the palm stones, especially if I'm trying to energize my auric field, is I will actually place them under my pillow at night time when I'm sleeping. And that's probably because palm stones can come into or in a wide range of sizes. You can have small ones which are almost a worry stone, or you can have ones that are bigger that are almost a freeform style. What we're looking at here, I think the image here they call flames. Now that would be a great ornament on the bedside table if you suffer from insomnia. You could also have that in your workplace as an ornament, or you could place it anywhere in your house that you want to bring that calming, soothing energy to it. Of course, if it's carved and it's a pendant, you can wear it as pendants, you can wear it as bracelets, you could wear it as an amulet or talisman if you're a metaphysical worker and you want to have the protective qualities. And of course, if you just want to connect to that pool of universal wisdom, or even to try and connect to Gaia and Mother Nature, you could meditate while sitting out in the garden, or meditate anywhere really that you're comfortable. Gridding, I always put gridding in, but I don't particularly do gridding, but you could use it for crystal gridding if you're a crystal healer. Or any form of metaphysical worker, you could certainly use it when you're delivering your treatments. If you've got issues with family, like I think I forgot to mention, I think I'm mentioning on the message, I actually believe that it would be very good for healing any mother issues that we've got, in which case you could probably wear it as a talisman. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I just checked my notes, and I actually think it would actually be very good as a crystal if you're looking to develop your clairvoyance and to be able to do aura scans on people as part of healing or delivering healing services. Be a wonderful addition to a person's healing room. So, as an oracle message, I believe that Tai Chi Stone is actually a reminder to people to work on any mother issues that they may have. And it's easy to think and assume, and quite often the case, that when we talk about mother issues, we're talking about the issues that occurred in our childhood, where we might be struggling with concepts of abandonment, rejection, especially if there's been childhood trauma and things like that. And where we haven't been protected as children. So there is that reminder to heal those issues. And part of that healing the issues of our childhood and our relationship with our mother is to do inner child work, which is reclaiming the inner child, is another term that it's referred to, and to committing to being our own good mother, our own loving mother, to take care of ourselves. Because when we're adults, our mother actually really doesn't have a lot to do with the decisions that we make today. So it's about healing that aspect of self and opening up to the joy, opening up to the pleasures of life. It's absolutely vital. When it comes to those of us that are older, though, if we have had childhood trauma, then quite often the children that we have will experience that trauma, at least emotionally, even if they don't physically go through the same things that we went through as children. Then our children are likely to develop some mother issues as they mature. Now, you will know what I mean by that if you've got adult children who are at that age and stage in life where there's that blaming and relationship tension. And that's all part of growing and maturing as well. But part of that growth and maturity for the mothers, and I mention this because I know there's a lot of it that is happening in the world at the moment. There's, in fact, I think a couple of YouTube channels dedicated to women highlighting the fact that they don't know what they did wrong to their adult children, but their adult children no longer want to have anything to do with them. So there are things that we can do as those mothers of adult children to actually at least become peaceful around the relationship and allow it to evolve and develop naturally to follow its divine flow. And if it doesn't actually physically heal the relationship in the current life, it helps to heal our attitude and beliefs to whatever's going on. So for me, I say this is a time to reclaim your inner child, and to attend to expanding your mind, your soul, your belief, and understanding and respecting that each one of us, including our children, is on their divine plan and path. Something that may help people to come to peace with that is many years ago, and more recently, actually, I've had a conversation with my own adult children, which I find it very comforting, actually, that my adult children have reached this conclusion by themselves over decades, which is that the understanding that we pick our parents for, it seems hard when we're starting out on a journey to get our head around that. But my belief is we pick our parents before we're born. It's all part of the divine plan, and they provide to us those life experiences that are part of us expanding our soul. Life is full of challenges. Not all of those experiences are going to be great, but they're going to grow us, or they're not going to feel great as we go through them. But as we come out the other side of them, and we recognize that actually our parents are products of their environment as well, and whatever they did to us actually was never about us personally as human beings. It was just the pathway that we chose. And this leads into that business of self-acceptance and self-love, and recognizing, nobody's perfect, but we're all perfect, if that makes sense. That business of having compassion, understanding, and empathy towards all people, including our parents, including our mothers. As far as milky quartz and black jasper go, both of them are actually fairly hardy, and both of them cope with being immersed in water. I really don't know. I don't think that black jasper fades with exposure to sunlight. Not 100% sure. Certainly not the zebra jasper that I used to have in the past, the Australian zebra jasper. That definitely would cope with being exposed to bright light, sunlight, and that kind of thing. Milky quartz, though, because I've spent so many years in the goldfields region of Western Australia, where it has extreme heat, and where the white quartz is actually quite often lying on the surface of the soil as we walk around, I am aware that it does lose its colour. It does become faded. It can be a bit glassy looking. And if you want to keep it with that lovely looking white, fresh whiteness, then yeah, I wouldn't be putting Tai Chi jasper on the windowsill, not in our climate. It's probably different in other places in the world, but here in Australia we have some pretty harsh summers and we have some pretty bright sunlight, and I just don't think it's good for white quartz. Anyway, from an energetic perspective, well, actually, let's go back to it. Water immersion. Yep. So if you've got any of these as tumble stones or towers or whatever, yes, if they need a cloth, always, yeah, you can wipe it down with with a damp cloth. But this would be one of the crystals that if I had access to a stream, because I actually love to energize crystals by putting them into muslin cloth or whatever, usually tying it up and then just placing it in running stream water, so it can really get that earthing connection in. And you can't do it with all your crystals, but you would be able to do it with Tai Chi jasper, I believe. I don't know if it's suitable for water elixirs because I don't know if there's any trace minerals in it. I don't think there is, but if you're into making elixirs, you probably could do that with a water immersion, but there's other ways to make elixirs anyway. So going back to the cleaning aspect and caring for it. Look, as always, it's not the hardest crystal, so it's going to scratch if it is up against harder crystals, say something that's an 8 or a 9, and especially if it's unpolished. So the reality is, yeah, you still have to take a certain amount of care with it, even though it's fairly hard. But from the clearing and charging perspective, I would still be using my selenite because I love selenite. I love to clear and recharge crystals by popping them on selenite. I think I've lost my track of where I was there. Look, if you're going to use chemicals or dishwashing detergent, just go for the soft stuff if you really must. I think it probably would cope in an ultrasonic cleanser, but I don't think I would try it. I don't have one, so I don't use them. Particularly, I think one of the recharge methods I would definitely use with the Tai Chi Jasper or be comfortable doing is the earthing, which is that putting it in the garden bed. I don't think it's one that would actually attract the magpies because it doesn't sparkle. All those, because we've got a lot of thieving birds here in Australia. So I think it would be fairly safe to actually go in the garden overnight for a full moon to be exposed to that. I think I would be comfortable placing it outside during the day as well. I love filtered ambient sunlight for crystals anyway. And just a reminder that when you use crystals, it's always good to actually do the attuning of the crystal. Now, I've got videos up for other methods of charging and recharging. I know some people like to clear and cleanse their crystals with the essential oils or with saging, that kind of thing. Some people use the tuning forks and the power of sound to do the clearing and cleansing and recharging. It's up to you and what you feel comfortable with. But either way, I've got some other videos there. The links are in the description so that you can take a look of them. Before I close out, I just want to do a reminder here that I think one of the difficulties when it comes to purchasing Tai Chi Stone and the dubious information that we can find online, or the conflicting information that we can find online, is because I'm aware through speaking to some of the Chinese sellers that they actually, a lot of these crystals, and I think Tai Chi would be the same, there's not a lot known about them, and it's not like they actually have a lot of mines there as we do in the West. Where all of this stuff has been tested. I think places like China and Madagascar, it tends to be people going out there and finding the crystals themselves, or finding a small source of it and then taking it to the markets and selling them there, or selling them to the carvers. So I think that probably is what leads to part of the confusion with Tai Chi Stone. So, my friends, until I work with Tai Chi Stone, that's about the limit and extent of any information that I can share with you. I'm going to hand over to you guys to leave your feedback, your comments, and thoughts, and what you pick up from looking at the images of the crystals and understanding the mineral content in that. And if you've actually worked with Tai Chi Stone, to give us some information on your experiences with it would be great as well. For now, though, I'm going to say thank you very much for being part of my journey. Have a wonderful day, wonderful week. Stay blessed. Catch you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.